Hi there! Welcome to the channel Kevin Abroad. This is my newest video! Sorry if today I sound a bit enthusiastic, but about a week ago I just booked my trip to Japan, so I am super excited and slightly freaking out. But obviously it's something that I've been wanting to do for 2 years, so yeah, it's normal if I'm kind of losing it right now. In today's video I'll be talking a little bit about my trip to Japan, but mainly what I want to do today is talk to you about my progress in Japanese and all the resources I've used so far to learn it. So I hope you find this video helpful, and if you're also learning Japanese, I'd be very happy to hear about your tips and all the resources you use to learn Japanese, because that might be useful to me or anyone else watching the video. Anyway, shall we get started? About my trip to Japan, I decided that I would probably just stick to the Kansai prefecture, because I don't want to spend time traveling, to Tokyo and other cities and basically just spend most of my holiday traveling in a train, in a plane, and etc, etc. So I decided that it would be better to explore a smaller area of Japan. Well, I mean, Kansai is quite big, but you know what I mean. Instead of, trying to go everywhere and not actually enjoying the country properly. Obviously, it doesn't mean that I never want to explore the other cities, but if I do, that would be for another holiday where I will stay in a specific area and in which I will be able to explore, just what's around this area. I don't know what I will be doing exactly in the Kansai prefecture yet, because my trip is only in 4 months. So I obviously have I've got a lot of time to plan for things. But if you have any suggestions, I'd be very happy to hear them, and yeah, maybe I will do them. Now let's talk more about my progress in Japanese. So, I've got some notes here, so if you see me reading something, then you'll know why. But basically the first thing I'd like to talk about is how I learned Kana. Kana basically, and I won't go into too much detail because I'm not a professional first, and there's other YouTubers that have done it better than I have in the past, so I will probably put some videos up there. But basically for the Kana, so I've been learning Hiragana and Katakana, and what I've used is a website which is called Tofugu. It's basically a guide that helps you remember the characters. And the method that they use in the guide is a method that I think you can call association. So, for example, the character in Japanese ki from the Hiragana alphabet looks like a ki, for example. So basically that's how you associate sounds. So ki in English with the sound ki in Japanese, and so on and so forth. And they also have a katakana guide which follows the same principle of association, and I will both post the links in the description below. Those two guides have been very useful for me because thanks to them I could recognize the characters quite well, though however now my katakana is a bit weak, but I need to go back to that. Anyway. But if you are actually trying these guides, I would maybe try to do 5 characters at a time, or maybe 10 per day, because I think 46 characters in 1 day or 2 days is a bit too much. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I think it's too much, and I think it will stay in your memory better if you do them little by little, and then you learn 5 new ones the next day, but you go back to the 5 you've learned before, and so on and so forth. And I think this way it will stay in your brain more easily. So now you might be wondering, okay, I know the Kana, so what do I do now? Well, I found a website when I was learning the Kana, and it's basically a drag and drop website, when basically you have a table with all the sounds, like organized in the table, and you have to just drag and drop the character under the right syllable, and that's how I practice. Actually, while I was learning the Kana, I was using this website, and what I would do is I would just focus on filling up the boxes of the sounds that I knew. Obviously, if I didn't know them, I would just skip it. And then progressively just build up, and you can see how you're able to recognize more and more sounds. And I think that was kind of motivating because, it's kind of a game where you want to, finish the game fully, and then you can try to time it and do it in 10 seconds or do it in under 2 minutes and stuff like that. So I think it's quite a good website to kind of check that you actually remember the Kana properly. And once I was able to recognize the Kanas and read them kind of fluently, I used an app which is called Kana Writing, and I will try to show it to you. Basically, in this app you can see the stroke order, and basically it kind of helps you to know which order to write the strokes. You can also write on it. So for example, if I do 1, 2, and 3 strokes, you will see I've written on top of it, and it says good. So yeah, this app is also useful because you can have a summary of all the sounds possible in Japanese. So yeah, you have a table. Sometimes if I forget how to read a sound, especially the ones with the little dakuten, that's why they call it, the little 2 strokes, it's quite useful for me to refer back to it if I can't remember how to basically read a character. Even if I think this app is amazing, there is, however, a little mistake that confused me, so I'm going to point it out right now. It's basically like if you have a look at the table, you will see that in the column for with the ja, ji, ju, je, jo, obviously in Japanese you don't say that. The right thing that they should have written would be za, ji, zu, ze, zo. But anyway, if you know that there's this mistake, then it won't bother you too much. But yeah, just bear in mind that it's not perfect, but it's still useful for at least the basic 46 characters. There's also another app that I use every now and then to kind of refresh my memory and practice and making sure I don't forget the characters, because if you don't revise them often, you kind of tend to forget some of them. And the app I use is called Hiragana and Katakana, and it's only available on Windows Phone, I think, but I'm pretty sure you can find an equivalent in other devices. And if I show you an example, so basically the point is to, you have the character on the screen here, and then you have to click on the right sound. So in this one you have ku, obviously, whoop, here you go. Then here you have mi, etc, etc. So it's quite useful to practice when you're on the bus or on the plane or wherever you're going. And you can also choose which characters show up. So for example, if you have only learned katakana, for example, or hiragana, then you can choose to just show these characters. Or you can just simply include 10 or 15 characters if you haven't learned all the characters yet. In terms of actually learning the language, what I did at the beginning was using Rosetta Stone and Memrise. Rosetta Stone was not really good in my opinion, because it does teach you some vocab, but it doesn't teach you any grammar, which is kind of tricky, because for Japanese you really need to learn the grammar, because otherwise the sentences don't make sense, or even if they make sense, you won't be able to like kind of be spontaneous about speaking Japanese. You will basically just be able to repeat what you've learned, which is not what you want to do. You want to be able to create your own sentences, and for that purpose Rosetta Stone is not really good at all, in my opinion. As for Memrise, I think it's a bit better than Rosetta Stone. First of all, it's a bit more progressive and it teaches you individual words and some sentences. But I've got to say that after the level 1, it got quite difficult, because it teaches you verbs, but it doesn't tell you how verbs work. So again, you've got the issue of apps that don't really teach you the grammar. So it gradually makes it difficult for you to understand the sentence, because what you will do in longer sentences is kind of like learn things off by heart. So again, you won't actually be learning the language, you'll be learning sentences. And still on the resources that I use to learn Japanese, there's this textbook which is called Japanese from Zero. You can tell I've been using it with all the sticky notes. And in my opinion, it's a very good book, because it does teach you the grammar, it teaches you vocab, and it doesn't go too fast, and it's very affordable. I think this copy cost me £17, and it's quite thick. And I think I learned quite a lot of stuff. I might do a review on this book specifically in another video, but I'm only on the chapter 5, and I'd like to finish the book first before reviewing it, because I think that makes no sense if you haven't finished the book. But yeah, I think it's a very good resource. However, I would say that if you have learned the kana characters, I think it's a bit annoying, because at the beginning they will use Romaji characters, and basically as you go through the lessons they will replace the Romaji characters with the actual characters. But it's not an issue for very long, because as you go through the lessons the Romaji characters disappear, but I just thought I would let you know in case you decide to buy the book. And what I really like about this book series is that the author, George Trombley, has a YouTube channel in which he uploads almost every 2 days, I think, or maybe every day. And basically his videos go through the lessons one by one from the book. So I think now he's gone up to the end of book 3, so you've got quite a few lessons to go through. And he also has like Q&A videos when, you know, the people commenting, asking questions, and then he answered on video. He also has live shows. Actually today I was on one of his live shows, and he's very good at answering questions, and he's just a very funny person. So I definitely recommend buying the books and following him on YouTube. He's quite a good teacher. So in the last part of this video, I'd like to talk about resources and sources that I use to learn Japanese. One of them is HelloTalk, and basically the way the app works is that you will first of all enter your native language, so may it be Spanish, French, English, whatever, and then you enter the language that you're interested in learning. So what will happen is that native speakers of the language you're learning will basically be in contact with you. So it's basically a language exchange app, and it's quite good because you can meet people that live in your city if you live in a big city, and you can even meet them in person. So if that's the kind of thing you want to do, then that's also possible. Another source that I use alongside my Japanese language learning is YouTube. Okay, so these YouTubers are not technically speaking Japanese language learning channels, but they're still very useful because you get to experience the culture, which is very important, I think, when you're learning a language. Obviously, the best thing to do is to go to the country, but when you can't really go to the country, then YouTube is a good alternative, in my opinion. The first channel I'd like to talk about is the channel Random E. And Random E is a female YouTuber who talks about Japanese culture, and her videos cover aspects of Japanese culture such as like food, sweets, society in general. Like I think the last video was about cuteness and weirdness in Japan, which I think was a quite interesting video. And she's also very good at editing. Your editing is on point, girl. And I just think she's very funny, and I like the way she presents stuff. She also has like subtitles on the side when she talks, and those subtitles like comment on what she's saying, and they're often quite funny as well. And yeah, I definitely recommend to check out her channel, and I doubt you will regret it. The next YouTuber I'd like to talk about is Hiragana, and she's a French YouTuber. So unfortunately, if you don't speak French, well, it sucks to be you. But she's a very good YouTuber, and she talks about Japan. She does a lot of vlogging as well. She talks about different aspects of society. For example, she talks about how Japanese culture is not like a paradise, not all perfect. She also tells us about like things she struggles with, things she likes. Also, she talks about like her Japanese learning journey as well. And in my opinion, she's very down to earth, and that's why I think I like her channel, because she's very natural and spontaneous. And yeah, if you want to check it out, then go for it. The next channel is Kara Adventures. I hope that's how you pronounce it, right? Right, Kara? Anyway. And the channel is basically about the JET program, which is basically a program when you work in a Japanese school. If you want to know what it is, then go check out her channel. And I really like the videos because I'm considering working in Japan one day, and it kind of gives me an insight into Japanese culture. And she has a very like bubbly personality, and she's just like so sweet in my opinion. That's awkward if she sees that video, but anyway. But yeah, I think her videos are very interesting. She also covers like everyday aspects of Japan, like going to the supermarket, which I think is very interesting because it's like little things, but I don't know, I still find it so interesting. So if you're into that kind of stuff, then go check it out. Now, if you'd like a channel that is more quirky, funny, and also like gives you survival tips for when you visit Japan, then I recommend Japanese Journey. The channel is quite interesting. I mean, one of his best video, I mean all the videos are good, but one of my favorite ones is Japanese toilet. And it's good because Japanese toilet compared to Western toilets are quite complicated. I mean, we just push a button, but they have buttons and they do different things. But if you want to know what they do, well, just check out his channel. Of course, don't think that his channel is all about Japanese toilet. No, he also gives survival tips, as I said, for tourists. So, for example, he will explain to you how to use slippers in Japan and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, go have a look. Now, this channel is quite a big channel, and you might already know it, but it's Abroad in Japan. And it's such a funny channel. I mean, it's quite hard to explain, but I think it's the way he presents his videos and like the way he speaks and the jokes he makes all the time. And he also gives Japanese language learning tips. He also has videos about teaching Japanese people like swear words, which is such a funny video. And yeah, just like I really enjoy his videos. Like it's just it's so funny. I just can't recommend it enough. The last YouTuber I'd like to talk about is the YouTuber Kanada-san. And I like her videos because she talks about very random aspects of Japanese culture. I mean, she's done YouTube for about 4 to 5 years, so there's a lot of content. And for example, she talks about the onsen, which are the hot springs in Japan. And she also gives gaijin tips, so tips for foreigners, and that's actually how I discovered her channel. And yeah, there's quite a few videos. I mean, do check out, and I think you might at least like some of her videos because she teaches us a lot about like her life in Japan, as she's been living there for about 4 to 5 years. Okay, sorry for the very long video, but there was a lot of things I wanted to talk about, and I hope you found the video, you know, interesting, helpful, funny, anything. If you did, do not forget to put a few thumbs up and even subscribe if you think you might enjoy the rest of my videos. And if you have any suggestions of apps, channels, or any kind of material about Japan or Japanese, then do let us know, because I want to know. Okay, I'm gonna stop there because the last thing I want is a 20-minute video to edit. So I'm gonna see you next week and bye! Oh god, I'm so awkward.